got to get better at that. Welcome to Real Fan Radio, the post-Super Bowl show. I'm Darren Story from the third floor of my house, bringing you all the hits. And I'd like to welcome to the program my esteemed co-host, Gina Tarantino.
Hello, everyone.
And Marcel Good.
What's up, everybody? What's going on with you?
Yeah, why nobody can see you?
Yeah, he is. You can't see me?
Yeah, okay.
No.
Because you was black as night right then for a second.
I was like the O-line on
All
Sunday.
Right. Real Fan Radio is brought to you by no one. And our sponsors are nobody. And so we appreciate all the support from all of you who have done absolutely nothing for us over the years. And we just appreciate you coming on in. So we had actually planned on doing a show right after the game on Sunday. And what are you doing, man?
I've been doing this ever since the second half of the game, man.
Is that Pepto-Bismol? Is that Pepto-Bismol?
Yes.
That's just nasty.
Well, after the second half of that game, you know what? I'm doing better than Patrick.
Yes, indeed. And so I called it off. I texted you guys, as you know, probably, I guess, maybe halfway through the fourth quarter, and I called it off. And because I was literally ill. No, I wasn't. That's hyperbole. I was figuratively ill. Marcel was actually ill with diarrhea and all kinds of other stuff going on in his system. And it was just inexplicable what we witnessed the other day. And I just felt like that I could not, I didn't feel like talking about the game. There was not much to talk about of the game. It was now, I'm not saying this to be critical of the Chiefs. I still love the Chiefs, and I still think, I don't know what Vegas is saying right now, but they got to be one of the favorites to be back in the game, regardless.
I can tell you, we are the favorite. Period.
Okay.
We are the favorite right now. We were actually the favorite still by noon Monday afternoon.
Right. So Vegas is not stupid, That's why they make millions of dollars and take millions of dollars from people like people that are watching this show right now that are looking for some kind of tip. This is not the show if you're trying to bet on stuff. I'm just going to tell you now, don't do that. Don't let the mic fool you. Don't let this microphone fool you like I know stuff. But I called it off, guys, and I just want to first of all, before we get into this, I just want to show you, this is this play right here, in my opinion, pretty much kind of like encapsulates that entire 60 minutes of dreadful Chiefs football.
4th and 9. Again, running for his life. Mahomes got it away. Incomplete. White knocks it down. It was intended for Darrell Williams. He was parallel to the ground when he threw it.
That's unbelievable. And get it there, and it actually hits him in the face.
The ground when he threw it.
That's unbelievable. And get it there, and it actually.
Okay. Yeah. Break out a whole case of Pepto-Bismol. There should never, ever be a situation where your quarterback is under such duress that they actually have to fly parallel to the ground that they normally walk and run on to throw a pass that actually hits somebody in the face. I mean, it's just his performance, in my opinion, was, I don't know what to say other than if you for the last time, I want to show you guys this game from Patrick Mahomes' perspective. And it is, it's a game that honestly, when I think about if I'm a quarterback, I actually, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a quarterback, but I couldn't be because my mother wouldn't let me play football. Not because I was soft, but because I was small. I'm not as small as I used to be. But it was just another day in paradise for Patrick Mahomes. And you can talk over this if you like. This is his life. This was his day.
Actually,
this was his day.
Look at that.
I think he's doing a great job, actually, to be honest with you.
I mean, this is Patrick Mahomes' Super Bowl.
This is it. And it's cool. You know what? He's right where he needs to be, right there, that guy, right down there.
Look, where is his offensive lineman? Normally, when you're watching a quarterback, his offensive linemen are kind of around him, because that's called a pocket. They're protecting him. Look at this, man.
I'm gonna wait until the video stops rolling.
No, you can talk. I mean, look at that, man. That's $500 million right there. He's somebody's son. He's somebody's son. He's somebody's father.
No team has ever won the Super Bowl with both starting tackles that they began the season with out due to injury if they made it to the Super Bowl. Very few teams make it to the Super Bowl in that situation. Very few teams also, and this is really weird.
Marcel, let me stop you real quick. Should your quarterback have to do this?
Your quarterback shouldn't have to do this. But when the B team is playing in an A game versus another group of A players that are doing everything that they possibly can to be A players.
Yeah.
And look, man, I'm not making no excuses. I'm just looking at it. I mean, man,
to make. I mean, we were bad. And I think they would probably tell you that. I mean, this was a confluence of events, right? That happened.
Right.
We lose Mitchell Schwartz. And it tells you, and Eric Fisher may have just got paid again.
Well, I definitely believe that Eric Fisher was going to get paid again, and I didn't think it would be with the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm still not for sure that it's going to be with the Kansas City Chiefs. I think his minimum salary by itself might handcuff us as an organization. But if you were ever going to sign somebody for 1 year, if you were ever going to bring somebody back while they rehabilitate, because his biggest issue is going to be his injury was so late in the year.
Yeah, I'm gonna have you come back to that because that's later on in the show when we talk about what the Chiefs need to do in the offseason. And Eric Fisher might be one of those things that we talk about because an Achilles, he's not going to be back till around this time next year.
Now, remember what we did with Thornhill. Thornhill actually got injured the first game of the playoffs a year ago. Thornhill came back at the beginning of the season, but he didn't really come back. He came back and, kind of worked himself into it. I don't know if a tackle could do that. We'll get to that later, though.
Yeah, we'll get to that later. All right, so my question is very much so. I'm confused. Is he playing a full contact sport? Who said that?
Okay, so back to your statement.
No, let me Daryl Woods, let me say I'm confused. He is playing a full contact sport. So, Daryl, we understand that. And we understand that quarterbacks get sacked. And we understand that quarterbacks get hit. What we don't understand is that a quarterback necessarily should not be running for his life all day long. That's what we're talking about. That's why I showed those pictures. I didn't show those pictures like he's not supposed to get hit. Well, if you've watched Patrick Mahomes all for his last 3 years, that's not a game we've seen him play.
He's always been physical, Darren. That's what I think.
I'm just talking, I'm not even talking because Daryl is saying this is what Daryl is saying to us.
Oh, I get it.
Or to me, like I'm confused.
Oh, he said it all to me. By the way, Daryl Woods is a very, very dear friend of mine, and he said it all to me. I'm just gonna let y'all know right now. I'd like to thank him.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He and I are, man, we're Facebook buddies. Well, we're buddies. We are old hip hop friends. We are old hip hop friends.
Daryl and Darren and Marcel, here's what I think is that your question, Darren, was, does your quarterback have to do that? Do we have to make it necessary? No, most quarterbacks would not have been able to even pull that off. And the fact that we have one just shows me that he will be taking Tom Brady's throne. And he,
not according to everybody that I was watching this week. You know, they could not wait to get off of Patrick Mahomes' bandwagon. There is a real.
It's a Kansas City cloud.
No, I think it's a bias, Midwest bias. You know, I think that they don't want us to have that. If Patrick Mahomes is in LA or New York, East Coast, Chicago, or something like that, it'd be a whole different thing. All right, let's get to our first question that we got to do because we're done at 8:00 because we got to leave people wanting more. Okay, so
come back, have more.
All right, so
story of my life. Story of my life.
Here it is. If I can show this, the one thing I don't want that to do that. I don't want it to do that. Let me fix it here. I want that, and I don't want that to be scroll across. Okay, this is what I want. The one thing that could have changed the outcome. Gina, go.
The one thing that could have changed the outcome is if you have an amalgamation of 10 different things, but I will
amalgamation.
An amalgamation of 10 different things, but I can't put it all into one sentence. So I would say that if we didn't have to move 3 other players over to make room for Eric Fisher, and we actually had some backup offensive linemen that could have taken their place when we were injured, I think that would have given Mahomes more time for a little bit more accuracy, and we would have scored outside of our kicker. That's what I think.
That's what you think. Okay, Marcel, cut. What do you want me to do?
If Sammy Watkins wouldn't have played, because it seems like we won every game he didn't play in. I'm just
over here.
Now think about it. I'm not wrong when I say that, but actually, I think if there was one thing that maybe could have changed the game, if we could have got some turnovers. I think that could have changed the game because that would have put more pressure on their offense. If we could have just, if we get the 3 that Green Bay got against him, I believe our offense, of course, that's 3 other possessions. I think our offense would have, especially if it would have been on the other side of the 50 or at least the right side of our 45. I think that could have made a big enough difference where things could have changed. Because when you take that ball away, you know, remember what you said, Dick Vermeil said about taking the ball away and what that does to your averages of winning. I think that could have made a big difference. But Sammy Watkins not playing probably would have been a better thing. I'm kidding on that. I'm kidding. I love the kid.
I know. And yes, and by the way, Dick Vermeil told me that. He told me that. Well,
right.
He was talking to me when he said that every time you turn the ball over, your chances of winning decreased 20% every time you do it. And that's what Dick Vermeil's told me. I just want everybody to know he told me that.
Well, I want you and I want you to know that I know that he told you that Dick Vermeil was all about the percentages when it came down to things like that. And I'm glad he told you specifically that. Makes our show a little bit more reputable. But that's the truth. It's the truth.
It's the truth, though. No, and guess what? When we had that turnover that was taken away, that Tyron had, guess what? You know, that was basically a 40% like push. Like, so we lost.
Right, it goes backwards. It goes backwards for you when something like that. I do believe, you know, some people don't believe in momentum, Darren. I do.
Oh, I do.
I believe in momentum, and I do believe that things can change for you, you know?
Right. So Daryl Woods is very, very much watching this. He runs all the time. He is most effective on the run in the run. Daryl, I would not dispute that. He is better when he's running for purpose, not running for his life.
Right, and that is to Daryl, I will say this. There's a difference between running and running. Oh, you can run. John Elway, one of the best quarterbacks I've ever seen in my entire life. I remember when he ran. I remember when he ran up under Dan Reeves, and I remember when he ran up under Shanahan. There was a big difference. And I'm saying that because I know who he's a fan of. But I will say when you are running, there like Darren, you just said it best. Purpose versus itness, where you just like, I have to run.
Yeah,
that's something totally different.
Yeah, moving the pocket is one thing. Running for your life is another. So that is the difference.
That's your missing offensive line.
This is for you, Gina. Gwinnett Thompson, is this a friend of yours?
Yes, it is.
You got
thank you, Gwinnett.
Yeah,
thank you.
Oh no, Gina got friends. That's cool. That's cool.
I had to buy them, but I mean, at least they're here.
Does have
Thanks for doing your job, Lynette. Thank you.
Okay, so I have not chimed in on the one thing that could have changed the outcome, and I really believe this. The only thing that could have changed the outcome was Eric Fisher not getting hurt.
You see, you back my opinion up. I agree.
I am. I also think that that's 1A. 1B, since this is my live stream and I own the rights to this thing, is Britt Reed and what happened prior to the game. Look, I know what it's like to have tragedy. I think we all know what it's like to have a little bit of tragedy in our lives. And I know these people are tremendous athletes with tons of intestinal fortitude. But you have a father that now is trying to coach in one of the biggest games. I'm not going to say one. I'm going to say one of the biggest games because he's been to multiple Super Bowls. One of the biggest games in his life. And his son is getting operated on. But also, too, his son has potentially killed this little girl in this accident that happened. That's heavy. That's heavy. And I know how close these guys are to Andy Reid. That's a symbiotic thing. They had to know that this was heavy on him, so it was heavy on them. They did not look like themselves at all.
Okay, can we give first of all, can we give a shout out? Can I interrupt you for 1 minute to give a shout out to the public? I don't know where everybody came from. I don't know who did what they did. But everyone, they asked for $100,000 on a GoFundMe campaign, and the fact that they have raised $400,000. I'm hearing approximately. I don't know for sure, but I know they've definitely done twice as much that was asked for. The fact that that young lady's bills will be paid for, and I do believe, I believe in the power of the Lord. I don't know what other people think, but I'm just going to tell you what I believe.
Amen.
And I believe that in prayer we can uplift her, and she will be here. I want to give a shout out to that young lady, her family, and everyone, and say from Chiefs Kingdom, because the kingdom is real. As a member of it, that we are praying, we are giving all we got to that young lady, and we hope everything is okay. Don't know what's going to happen, and I'm not here to judge Brett. We know what we know. He knows what happened.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
But I'm just going to say, I just want to give that shout out to that young lady, and I pray for her. Absolutely. Pray for her to get well. On behalf of all of us at Real Fan Radio. For real.
Britt was his contract expired today, and so he no longer has a job, and he was on administrative leave prior to the contract expiring. So I'm wondering what will happen to Andy Reid now that his
I think Andy Reid
assistant coaches, that's an every year thing. Yeah. Assistant coaches, they have to be re-upped. Assistant coaches have to be re-upped. They I don't believe you're guaranteed anything because the head coach is not guaranteed anything either. So you know how that goes. You know how it is, Gina.
No, I mean more of that. How will this affect the front office and Andy Reid's? I'm just speculating, but how would that affect their relationship? I mean, didn't that happen to Marty Schottenheimer and his son? Didn't they work together for a little while as well?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
Kurt was a offensive assistant coach, I believe, for us for about, I think I want to say 3 years before he ended up moving on. So I could see some things changing, but I don't see much with Brett. I don't know why when you go 16-3 because you lose the last game of the season, because understand this, there's only one way to lose the last game of the season, which is what we call the Super Bowl. That's to play in it. Okay? 30 other teams didn't. I don't think that Andy's thing is going to change much, especially with him not being the general manager. Why I believe one of the best reasons is to not be the general manager as well as the head coach, because that separates things. I don't think Brett Veach is going to look down on Andy about this. The only thing you can control in life is what you do. Those around you, as good as they may be, and as much as you may love them, and as much as you may respect them, they make personal choices that are out there for them to make. So at least, I mean, my humble opinion, I believe it'll be that way.
all right. Okay. Well, I think we're done with that.
I said that like I knew something, huh?
All right, maybe you do.
We're gonna get your comments up there, but next we're gonna move on to the next situation, which is Tyron and Tom. All right. So let me just say this to you as far as I'm concerned. And since I don't get paid to do this, I don't feel any compunction to have to know everything about this like I'm Adam Schefter. So for those of you looking for that type of insight, you have come to the wrong place. What I can tell you is that Tom Brady, a lot of times, he gets away with murder when it comes to, decorum. And because what people don't remember about that, Tyron had some words with him, and then Tom Brady followed him and re-engaged him. And then Tyron, as soon as Tyron came back to him, he got the flag. And that's the Brady
It only
rule.
matters. That kind of thing only matters when you're a tall black basketball player.
Oh, Michael Jordan. Okay, the Jordan rules, right? Is that what you?
Yeah,
is that what
all those things. If you came back up to Jordan, and when you did it, if you came back, and Dennis Rodman and Charles Barkley, if you came back, that only matters then. In the NFL, if you are the star quarterback, and especially if you have a MAGA hat that you have up in your, I said it. If you have a MAGA hat, you don't have to answer any questions to what you did. And by the way, I'm going to say this and let you take it back, Darren, because I know you got something good on this one. Tyron put him in a very bad position when interviewed, because he said, I'm not going to repeat what he said to me. Now, we all know that the NFL, they tape everything. They got those, those little cylinders around those microphones that they put up at the top of the stands and gets everything.
I wouldn't be surprised if both of them were mic'd up personally.
I'm taking the position that they may not be, but
they may have been radio silenced.
Right. But the NFL knows what he said. But now Tom has to deal with this. We're going to find out 25 years from now. We're going to find out 25, after Tom is, old and in the Hall of Fame on a cane and all that other stuff. We're going to find out, Darren, and I'm going to tell you that everybody's going to make the excuse of, well, that was 2021 and you know how we did it back then. I personally believe that Tom said something.
Impression? Was that a Keith Jackson impression? Or did you
kind of something like that on this Saturday afternoon at USC? Kind of something like that. All the sun is shining and we're getting ready to play a game. The game that God has created for us to enjoy. And that would be it, yeah. But you understand what I'm saying.
Beautiful.
You're a box of voices. Okay, so Gina, what's your take on Tyron and Tom? And Tom Brady did apologize.
I think Tom Brady.
He said something. I don't know. We don't know what he said, but he said something where he felt like he needed to apologize.
I should pull it up because it was, he said something. And I agree with you that there's something that it was said. Tyrann pretty much laid it out on the line on you know, that it what I took from it is that it had to be a racial slur, or so.
Oh, come
So
on.
Tom Brady,
Not that.
not that, not in the NFL, not with Tom Brady, not with the MAGA hat wearer, not with the Trump supporter. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that? This isn't about politics. This is
Oh,
radio. This is radio. My bad. My bad. But anyway, with Tom Brady, he's a seasoned vet with a great publicity team behind him. Tyrann is a real cat, and he plays smash mouth football. And he lives on, he's gone through enough that I don't think he has to hide or pretend to be this superstar. So when somebody calls him out, I don't blame him for walking up to him. And he did immediately walk off. He said what he had to say, pointed in his direction, and then Tom Brady, like a little child, ran after him. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to call him a child. Grown man goat of a quarterback.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But Tom Brady gets one of these. No, that's not it. Yeah, that's exactly. Tom Brady.
Okay, which one? Which one is up to you?
I do
America. Which one is up to you?
Right. Tyrann had a lot of class to drop it immediately and say he didn't want to speak on it anymore. He took the apology. But he did the right thing.
I want you to know, Gina, I think that was really, really classy of him, because you know that you don't want to be the other part of the story. You're not going to win anyway.
You're the other part of the story. That's for sure.
You don't want to be the other part. You know, you've already lost the game. And because you lost the game, anything else that you say, if it isn't just, they played a great game, they were better than us today, and they won it. If we played them 3 times, I think we'd win 2 out of 3. If you don't say that, come on, man. You are sore. It does not matter. You are a sore loser, and I give him credit.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Well, I want to get to all the comments, because we do have people commenting, and so we don't want to not pay them homage. So like Daryl Woods, Mahomes is great, but he has been granted Hall of Fame status already, so he had a lot to live up to. And when he didn't, folks attacked that. I absolutely agree. The dude's been playing in the league 4 years. Okay. Now, granted, he just lost his 10th game the other day.
10th. So add that up. 10th. Take your favorite quarterback. Take your favorite quarterback and look at when he lost his 10th game and go to his. And just because everybody else has done that to him, that's his fault. How? That's his fault. Where? That's the Chiefs' fault. How? That's Chiefs Kingdom's fault. How? How is that theirs? There has to be something there to make people say that. And the bottom line is, I'm going to say this again. Daryl, I love you. You know we the boys, man. We the boys. He lost the Super Bowl. Not the toilet bowl. Not a preseason game. Not a game. I mean, you talking about practice. You know, when it comes to that on me, he lost the Super Bowl, baby. Baby, nobody else from the AFC went there. I'm just going to leave it alone. I love my boy Daryl. I love my boy Daryl. I love him. And thank you for participating, because there's a lot of people on my page, a lot of people that have been out there, and I want to make sure to say this. A lot of people out there that'll be on my page. They'll be in my inbox. They will be on my phone, and they will do everything they can to talk to me about this game or about my Chiefs whenever they lose. We're giving you an opportunity now here at Real Fan Radio to be a real fan and talk to us about it out loud. Don't want to hear nothing you got to say tomorrow. Don't want to hear from you 30 minutes after the show goes off. You had a chance. Man up. Like Daryl Woods. I'm done.
So Gina's getting a lot of love tonight.
Thank you, Lori. I love you.
Lori Wellman, my classmate. Well, I graduated before. She went to Lincoln, of course, and she says Gina makes the whole scene beautiful.
Mwah. Thank you.
Oh God.
Thank you.
I actually agree with her. I agree with her.
Really? I don't know. Not sure. Okay, Derek Johnson has something for us. Derek, agree It's as if Andy abandoned the run. So people were talking about that we should have ran the ball more. Okay. The game plan was weird. Was weird. It was just kind of weird. It was like, and then in the second half, we moved the ball and then we would hit a wall. And then things would just change. It was just weird. So I don't want to belabor this, but I want to get everybody's comments in. Thank you so much. For I think when you said Trump, we lost like 8 viewers. So just saying.
I'm very sorry.
We can take a little bit of comment from regular everyday people.
See, look at it. There's Renee Gardner. There's Renee Gardner's class of Lincoln class of 1983. Lincoln's showing up tonight.
Hold on, man. Hold on. I am pretty for sure that Renee did not need you to say that right now. I'm pretty for sure.
She looked good though. She what? Go to her face.
I mean, I know all that, but 83. That was back when.
There's Tiffany Radford, also known as Sway Black, Lincoln class of 1984.
There's a lot of Lincoln people here tonight
because they love me. So
we love you too, Darren.
I know. All right. That apology was BS. Lori says, being tech, who does that? Boys who date girls in 2021. Boys do everything via text. I mean, everybody does things via text now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to get caught up, yeah, I make phone calls. That way you can't say what I said to nobody without them having to question whether or not I said it. It's still, I'm the smart guy. How about that?
Daryl Woods.
No one can snapshot you. Screenshot.
Daryl Woods says he lost his 2 biggest games to Tom Brady, AFC Championship and Super Bowl. That is why folks went to the GOAT after the Super Bowl. I said he was great. And Patrick Mahomes is great. He's got a long way to go to his greatness. Okay, so the next thing we want to talk about as we keep moving, as it is now about 36 minutes past the hour. I like saying that. It makes me feel like I want a Today Show. So our next subject is the officiating. All right. So there they are. That's not our actual crew. That's just a likeness of them. That's a fake crew. But they wore that uniform. And first of all, the only thing that I really have to say about the officiating is it was atrocious. It was atrocious. It was so one-sided and so lopsided. And Boomer Esiason even said during the halftime show, and we'll get to that later, he even said that the officials, and I quote, the officials need to stop making themselves so much a part of this game.
Amen.
And you never want to be talking about the officials. If you're an official, that's like officiating 101. When this game is over, please do not have them talking about us. Do not have them talking about us. The Chiefs were penalized. I mean, how many times have we seen dudes fall down chasing the guy on a route? There's some inadvertent, like his feet. The Rashard Breeland PI with Mike Evans. I mean, the ball was overthrown. Rashard Breeland falls down. Mike Evans has no chance of catching this ball, and they throw it. I mean,
what do you want? What do you want to say when? What do you want to say, Darren? When I can say this right here, Daryl Woods. When last week, last week on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I heard Cosell say twice that one of the things that was really bothering him in all 3 shows, the one thing that was bothering him was that the official, the referee of the game, in a time where we have had the lowest amount of holding calls in the history of the NFL over the last 15 years. This is not looking backwards and coming up with stats like that, Daryl. And what he did was he said, This guy calls the most holding calls. He called 40% more holding calls this year than he averaged any other year. Yet he graded out the highest on the refs. A grading scale of which we don't know anything about. Not the NBA grading scale where they tell you how it works. Not the NHL grading scale where pretty much nobody cares, and not the MLS or baseball's umpiring grading scale, which they tell you just a little bit more than they do in the NFL. This guy, he gets the top job, the referee. And now you don't have Eric Fisher. Mind you, I believe Eric Fisher would have got called for a couple of those calls also just because, that's what Eric Fisher does. He drops them, like Kelsey drops the first pass. That's what happens. But the way that the game was done, Gina, the way that the game was done, I have to say to you, in the way it was officiated, they made a lot of, and Gina, I want to know what you feel about this. They did a lot of congregating, and no calls ever were turned down. Nah, that didn't matter. It was on this side, it was on that side. I didn't see them being unfair, but I damn sure didn't see them being fair. What you think, Gina?
She's stuck in suspended animation.
Oh, Lord. What do you think, D, until she comes back?
Okay, so we'll take Gina out of the stream.
No, hold on. You want to know what? That's a great damn answer. That was a great answer right there from Gina.
Right. Look, I just think that when you play the biggest game of the year, it's the game that everybody's watching. It's the game that everybody is paying attention to. There's 2 teams left. And this is for all the marbles. This is for everything. This is for everything. And I really feel that most coaches and most players would feel better about how coaches talk to the referees before the game and they're kind of yucking it up. And what's this, Carl Jeffers, right? That's his name, right?
Yes.
Carl Jeffers. His name will live in infamy.
The fact that you know his name
is a problem.
Well, and Susie, I am the first woman in the Super Bowl to officiate. I was so proud of her and I was pumping her up and I was so excited. Women represent. There was 6 women and 5 women in the game on both teams. And then on the field officiating, I'm like, yeah, she's going to be accurate and one-sided. And that was the frustrating thing. Because I'm sick over it, because if we could have won the game if the scores were on penalty flags alone. 6-2.
Yeah. I mean,
okay, America.
Real quick, Marcel.
I want to interrupt for a minute, Darren, and say to America that
let me say this real quick.
Mm-hmm.
The Tyrann Mathieu interception was negated because of a penalty, and then they go in and score. So potentially that's a 14-point turner. That's a 14-point swing.
Why didn't Tom Brady get a penalty as well? Why didn't they give him both personals, and then it would have been canceled out and negated?
You know why?
Because he's Tom Brady.
Because he's Tom Brady. And if I'm
I just want America to know that the beautiful, wonderful, talented Gina, which happens to be a female on our show, is the one that talked about the female ref. Please don't come after me. I know I have a big mouth, but she said it. So y'all think what y'all want.
Yeah,
I could say it,
I did not bring up the woman referee because why? She's a referee.
And you're right. It shouldn't be about that. But
I'm not saying that it's not a big deal. Don't get me wrong. It is a big deal that she got the game.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is when I'm talking about the totality of the referee, she's just all in that lump. I'm lumping her in that. And she is as culpable as anybody.
Absolutely.
Not because she's a woman, but she wore that uniform. And that's simply it. We getting a lot of comments. This is a long one. Oh, Lord. Okay. Andy was asked about the refs, and he says that he felt okay with them. Andy Reid.
What else? What is he supposed to say?
What are you supposed to say? They know him and they know how he coaches and plays. Andy needs to get into the ref's ear and let it be known that he was not happy with most of the calls. You don't react, so refs don't care. He was on the radio down there the day before the game. I was there. I heard him. I thought we were good. We were here to go. Brady will get 80% of the calls, close or not. So, look, I think that every coach works refs. That's what you do. You work them before the game. You work them during the game. And I think what the refs need to do is that there needs to be something in training, right? Like when refs go to ref school, whatever that looks like, whatever that classroom looks like, whatever the teacher looks like that teaches refereeing, is that when you get to the Super Bowl, it should be like, okay, you learn how to call stuff throughout the league. My point is that if you're going to throw flags, throw them in the regular season. Don't wait till the last game decide that this is a hold that you wouldn't have called in week 13.
That is the best part that the referee of the game had going for him. Boy, he threw more yellow, man. You would have thought you would have thought he was painting stripes on the street, as many as he threw all year. So he was very consistent. The thing I had a issue with was, I believe, some kind of way there was an intimidation factor with him, his amount of years that he had been serving. And so when they went in and, like I said, they had those little huddles, man, it's almost useless because he's the big man on campus. That's what I believe.
Well, I don't know.
This is what I think about the officiating. I mean, we did make mistakes. We were called on them, but Tampa, there's no way. Tampa, you go into a Super Bowl game, any kind of playoff situation, and you do not you're not holding at some point. You're not trying, there's a chop blocking. There's something that's going on that the ref is missing. I'm sorry. It's just, there's always penalties in games. I can't believe that we were the only team that were making them.
All I know is we have a dear friend named Dion Durr who used to take his fingers and do this like it was the symbol on my hat right here. And he would do that and be like, that's why y'all get the calls y'all get. It was like, and I was like, but you from Kansas City? He was like, yeah, and I know. The Chiefs get calls that, and maybe it's Midwest bias, maybe it's not. I mean, and I'm going to go back to the Mahomes factor. Hey, man, they can't stand it. All of those people that were wrong about Mahomes, all of them, man, man. And Andy Reid, remember, we had a nice little way of looking at Andy until he won the whole thing. And that messed up the narrative.
The standard. So everything changed.
Hey, man, it just happens. But hey man, like I said, man, we went 16-3. We had a great season. We're gonna have another great season next year. And I bet you there's a better chance of us going back to the Super Bowl next year than it is Tampa Bay.
Absolutely.
I can tell you that right now. We're probably gonna end up playing Russell next year. Run tell that.
They have some cap issues. And they've got some free agents. Well, not cap issues, but they have some free agents that they're gonna. Why wouldn't you go take your game somewhere else after you got a ring? You're at the highest value that you could be.
The only reason you wouldn't do that is if you play in Kansas City and you stayed here like Sammy Watkins. You're not staying in Tampa Bay.
Good job, man. Good job.
Tampa Bay is on the wrong side of the state of Florida. We all know if you want to do something great, you do it on the east side of Florida. Yeah, I said it. I live there. I can tell it. Tampa Bay, you on the west side of Florida. Who goes, woo, I'm going to visit Tampa Bay. Yeah, nobody said bye ever.
Okay, is this true? Yeah. Is this true? You guys read this?
What's that?
She's a referee that named her son Brady because she admired Tom Brady. So
that is actually that. Yes, that is a fact. I wasn't going to bring it up. I didn't want to say nothing about her.
I didn't want to say nothing about it. Renee Gardner did. Because this is a equal opportunity cesspool of a show. So we bring it up, And
Hey, don't
Not
knock
our
on ladies that are
What
on this show.
somebody that's watching.
Each and every one of you.
I didn't do that. So yeah.
Thank you, Renee. Thank you, Renee, because you put it out there. That's what's up.
We got to keep it moving. All right. So so as you know, we had the Super Bowl halftime show is the pinnacle. If you got a bad game, if you got a bad game, you know. Okay, so the Weeknd did the halftime show, right?
Mhm.
And the Weeknd actually put $7 million of his own money in. This is the best picture I could find of him. So I just want you to know that I'm not trying to be funny, but
he looked like a young Marcel Good before he got his curl done.
yeah, you kind of look alike, man. It's weird.
But that I'll address
That's Marcy G.
In the place to be.
So I want to get everybody's opinion on the half. Gina, I'll start with you. I want your opinion on what you thought about the halftime show.
Okay, so first, that makeup was he did a interview. I think it was a Variety, and so that was just a publicity stunt. And
I know.
So with that being said, I have never been a huge fan of the Weeknd.
Oh, wrong button. That's for that's for Renee. That's for Renee's comment.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, Gina.
Oh, well, Renee, I don't know, Darren. You might be buzzing me because I'm not a big fan. I thought it was great. If it were a Grammy performance, that would have been phenomenal. I thought it was entertaining. It captured my opinion. But does it rank on the top tier halftime shows that we've had ever? No. My favorite part of the whole entire Super Bowl, the most entertaining part of the entire Super Bowl was the performance of the electric guitar with her playing the national anthem, period.
That was good.
I thought that, I thought that the Weeknd was entertaining for the Grammys, not for the Super Bowl. We've had J-Lo, we've had Justin Timberlake, we've had Bruno Mars, we've had what's her name flying down, Lady Gaga flying down from the top of the stadium. You know, there's been more entertaining Super Bowls. Prince, Rolling Stones. Not quite as bad as what's his name, Maroon 5, though. I mean, I did like him better than Maroon 5. And that's my input on the entertainment section of the Super Bowl.
Marcel actually had to leave because
hold on, somebody tell me
a break a weekend from my weekend, okay?
Leave. Okay, so Marcel, I'm gonna go ahead and you're a musical aficionado. I mean, you know, you're a rapper, DJ, and all that. So I'm gonna let you tell us and all 5 people that are watching this.
Hey, 5.
What it's actually 13, and it went down to 14 as soon as you said that, Gina. You know. Okay, Marcel, halftime show.
Thank you, Marcel. Thank you. Try to be nice to the Weeknd.
Marcel, I'm coming again, Marcel. One more, Marcel. What are your thoughts about the halftime show? Do you have thoughts about the halftime show? Any thoughts at all about the halftime show?
My mama told me if you ain't got nothing nice to say, shut your damn mouth.
Well, I said it for you then, maybe. I hope.
You said, you want to know what you said about for. I'm just gonna say this. Hey man, I think I gave what I just did right there in describing that halftime show. I think I just gave the best excitement since Michael Jackson was still and not moving at the halftime show back in the day.
Oh,
that was not there was nothing about that nothing to me that's worth commenting on negatively or positively. It's just one of those that I go.
Well, wait. Remember when the camera panned over to the Weeknd and he went,
yeah,
that broke it.
I do remember. You want to know what? I do remember that. And you know what I have to say about that?
Let's see what Let's see what the people are saying. The real fans out there. We represent them. Okay, Renee Gardner. That was the worst halftime show ever.
Ever.
God bless you, Renee. God bless you, Renee.
Lori Wellman, the halftime show was whack.
Darren.
God bless you. God bless you.
Yes, Lori.
Her should have been halftime. Her killed it.
She killed.
She could have been the halftime.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely. To me, this is the greatest. This is the greatest halftime show in the history of the Super Bowl.
Prince.
This is my little. Oh, this is my nephew. Looked like he had a bad weekend.
Yes, he did.
Like, he deserves that. He deserves.
Hey, rack that. That's a great way to be on the show. You rack that quote. That is a great quote. That is a great quote.
Way to go, Fooney. I like that. Good job, man. Good job. All right, Chris, I'd rather seen Black Saint single. You ain't got no class.
Not the Black Saint. You ain't got no class. Not that.
that is a Gina. That is a reference that you might not be familiar with.
Okay.
That's from our neighborhood. That's from our school. The Black Saint was a legend in our neighborhood, and
for many reasons.
But he used to always tell us growing up, whatever you do, don't lose your class. Don't lose your class.
Yeah.
Renee Gardner said the same thing. David Powell, it was, meaning it was trash. Trash can emoji. And then Daryl Woods, it was the perfect halftime show. Gave me plenty of time to grab some grub.
Mildly entertaining.
Oh,
that was it.
So here's the way it's supposed to go.
I never meant to cause you any sorrow. I never meant to cause you any pain. I only wanted one time to see you laughing, babe. Only wanna see you laughing, yeah. In the purple rain, purple rain, purple rain.
So that's a real halftime show, y'all. That's the way it's supposed to work. And that's also the Florida A&M University Marching 100. All right, that's enough because I'm gonna start crying.
Purple rain in the rain, man. Come on, man. Purple rain in the rain.
You heard the story. You heard the story when they called him and said, "Hey, it's raining," and then he said, "Can you make it rain more?" I was like,
yes.
I'm like, that's why you the GOAT. That's why you the GOAT, because of that. Not because you got penalties, not because you cheated, not because you called Tyron a name that we can't discuss on this program. That's the GOAT right there. That's the GOAT. I'm not even gonna do it. I'm not gonna.
So where's the weekend rank in the Super Bowl performances?
In my opinion, he does not rank.
Yeah.
I'm the same age as the Super Bowl. Okay. So I mean, I would put him underneath the halftime performance of the Grambling marching band.
The saddest thing is he had that entire field to work with.
It was a colossal waste of space and energy and money.
Absolutely.
The greatest Super Bowl halftime show exposed the fact that we have a problem with black breast. I'm done. I don't have any more to say because it'll just get worse from there.
What?
Just like Janet Jackson.
I'm not. Yeah. Janet Jackson, man, come on, man. Timberland.
Like Janet Jackson.
Yeah. We got a problem. We don't like to see those on TV
show either. It wasn't even with that. That wasn't like a good show to me. All right.
No, it was actually a terrible. But you remember it.
You got to
remember it.
I do remember it. I do remember it. There you go, Lori Women, the purple one. See, everybody's hyped now. Rattlers. That's
Rattlers.
Right. That's right. We only us could do that show with him. Only us. We could only do that show. I am there.
In all the world, there's only one.
There's only one.
But you know that.
You know that. Okay, Lori, I would put him underneath the stadium. You talking about the weekend?
I think so. I think that's what she's talking about.
I think he put himself there.
This people on fire tonight. I mean, like, wow. Okay, so Michael Jackson show was it was good. It was good. It wasn't epic. It was good.
The best part about Michael Jackson was the fact that he ran the NFL into the ground with the fact that he didn't give a damn about their time clock. That 3 minutes or 2 minutes or whatever it was, with him just standing there in that Captain Kangaroo ass jacket of his, man, just standing there, just taking up dollars from advertisers. And he's just standing there. That's, you want to know what? I don't care who your quarterbacks are. I'm Michael Jackson.
Okay, we got three things.
Of dollars for advertisers, send them our way if you'd like to advertise with us.
Yes, if this show keeps going, which is highly unlikely. So anyway, we got three things to get to, and I want to try to get to them in the next 10 minutes because we're already over time. All right. Okay. So what do the Chiefs need to do in the offseason to get back to Super Bowl 56?
Reinforce with an offensive line. Get rid of our punt kicker, punt returner. Horrible. Just give him a Head and Shoulders contract. Just give him an acting contract.
Yeah, him and Troy Polamalu could have a battle.
They could. Troy would take him. Troy would take him, but I'm sorry, those kicks.
You see his hair, and you hear this. That's what happens when Tom.
Why y'all gonna be mad at a guy who only had to do his job like 14 times all year because the offense is so good? Think about that.
Well, you prep him. You stay ready. If you can't stay ready, you shouldn't be in the NFL.
I will say this about punters: they're interchangeable.
Yeah, you can find a good punter. You can find a good punter on
I think
the bus stop. You really can. And going back to the halftime show, absolutely, Lori, Bay and Bruno's show were the bomb. Bruno Mars killed. So
he did.
Yeah. He did. So, all right. So Marcel, what do the Chiefs need to do in the offseason to make sure they get back to Super Bowl 56?
Clean up the cap. Let Sammy Watkins go. I love him to death, unless he's going to come back again on a friendly. Not because I don't like him, but because we need your best availability. We need that. I already believe that we're going to lose Robinson. Basically, the line will be back almost intact without Eric Fisher probably. They'll just be back. Duvernay Tardif, I believe he'll be back, and I think that'll be good. Okafor, if you have to let him go, I'm okay with it. I would not prefer it. See if you can rework some stuff with Frank, so that will save you a little bit of money on the salary cap on that side of it. And I've been preaching this now for the last 2 years. We have been very, very blessed that when we have been able to get away with not having the speed at linebacker that I believe we need. We need speed at linebacker. Thornhill, just make sure he stays here. I would actually re-sign him early. Just to get him on where we're going. I know people kill our corners, but I tell people all the time, when they're graded the way they are, those corners are graded in the top 10 and top 15 almost weekly. Yep. What they do right there. Running back position, go ahead and get somebody else to go back there with Hilaire. I have nothing but love for it.
Stop, Marcel. Chris Price, Fabio. Are they talking about? Fabio should do halftime? What's the reference there, Chris?
No, the hair.
Oh, yes, the hair. It's the hair. Okay.
Yeah. The Head and Shoulders. Yes.
All right. So,
if I'm ever gonna be interrupted, the word Fabio needs to be what interrupts that right there. But that's it. And I just think, you just keep moving forward, and you sign and you also this year you signed the greatest offensive coordinator in the last 5 years for any team. You can win a Super Bowl one time over us all you want. But the best offensive coordinator, you sign him to a poison pill deal, and you make him not only the offensive coordinator, you make him the assistant head coach by name, by pay, and by way. Those are the things I think the Chiefs need to do.
All right. Sounds good to me. All right. So I'm not going to tell you what I think they should do because for the sake of time, and nobody cares anyway. So one thing that happened this week, we had some untimely deaths that happened. First of all, Therese Paylor, who is with was with the Kansas City Star, now with Yahoo Sports, or was with Yahoo Sports, passed away unexpectedly at the age of 37 years old. And my feeling about this is that I did not read a lot of his stuff. I heard him on the radio. He was on 610 a lot. I know that he was also our Hall of Fame representative when it comes to the press. But just hearing someone pass away at 37 is enough to just make you sick. But I've heard nothing and read nothing but good things about him, his colleagues, former colleagues, that he had. What is he doing?
I disappeared.
Sorry. Had a major malfunction. I had a major malfunction.
Show we're trying to do here, man. I mean, what do you think this is, man? The wide world of sports. This is a real show we're trying to do here, and
hey, man, don't make me have to go Tom Brady on you and say something they can't put on there. Please, please.
You gotta have
a radio show
production value here. Okay, so anyway, you guys want to chime in on Therese Paylor, an untimely death. I still don't know what the cause of death is or anything like that, but you guys got any comments on his untimely passing?
Go ahead,
I admire the work and his contribution to sports and the Chiefs and Kansas City. So rest in peace and God bless him and his family. That's too young to die for sure.
Yeah. I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing at something I read. I have to be careful about that for people think that I'm laughing at something serious. Marcel.
I happened to run into Therese at a local. They're not sponsoring this, so I'm not going to say their name. But they are a local pizzeria here, homegrown. And it was crazy because I just happened to hear his voice, and I was it was a couple few years ago, and I turned around and I was like, "Are you Therese Taylor?" And he was like, "Yeah." And we sat and we talked. I don't think people understand that how valuable those folks' time are or is, and the fact that he gave me 15 minutes of his time. And we sat there and it was cool. And he hands me his card. And so I call him and he's like, "Hey, what's up? How you doing, Marcel?" And I'm like, "Wow." He's like, "Boy, hey, boy, that pepperoni pizza is fire, ain't it?" And I'm like, we just got along. He was a great guy. Shout goes out to him, his family, and all of his loved ones. And I don't believe that there is a guy that has done a better job for Kansas City sports than him. Others may have did equal, but he represented Kansas City very, very well. And, Godspeed to him and one love, straight up.
Well done. Well done. And definitely prayers and peace and comfort to his family. At any age, losing someone at any age is always difficult. But when you're in the prime of your life, and I have a little bit of experience with that, losing siblings at a very young age. And then even, grandchildren just coming into the world just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And so we really want to make sure that we lift those folks up.
Word is bond.
This evening for that. So Therese Paylor, I understand that that's got to be tough for his family right now. And we've got to do one more thing. Someone else passed away before we go. And honestly, you could call him the godfather of modern day Chiefs football and Chiefs fandom. Him and Carl Peterson brought a new vigor, new excitement to this town after years of woeful and dreadful football in Kansas City. Pretty much after the Chiefs left, the old stadium, there was a decline in the level of football from then on out. And when Carl Peterson and Marty Schottenheimer got here, they got to work and created the mystique that we know now as Arrowhead Stadium. And Marty Schottenheimer passed away on the same day that his beloved
21 years later.
That Derek Thomas passed away. Here's a little bit of Marty.
When you step across the white stripe, the only thing that matters is that 6 inches between your backbone and your breastbone.
Raise your eyes up. Right above is the next rung. Reach out and grab that rung. Pull yourself. Push your buddy. The next rung is today. Let's go. You can. You will. You believe. You believe. You believe.
There's a gleam, men. There's a gleam. Let's get the gleam, all right? Let's go.
This is a game of the heart. A game of being a man. Let's go. Do not underestimate the power of the human will. Light the ignition. Let's get this rocket ship going up now.
Those 2 little letters, W-E, we. Those 2 little letters, U-S, us. They're powerful. They're powerful. Great job. That's it.
Climb a mountain, you take 1 step at a time. Don't go looking at the top. You end up slipping on your ass. 1 step at a time, man. The only step that's important is the next one. 1 play at a time. Finish everything we got.
Yeah! All right, men, let's go. Let's meet our standard or exceed it. I like the character of this football team. Because I'll tell you what, guys, when you get your back in a corner and people start looking left and right, all you got to do in this locker room is look at one another.
1 play at a time for as long as it takes. Let's build our house. Let's go. Focus and finish. Boat's loaded, man. Let's roll.
Every time you walk out that door to play the game, doesn't matter the arena, you expect to win.
Let's go, everybody up. We know the strength. The strength of this team is this team. We're going to 8-1. Mile marker 9. We started at the beginning with 1 phrase. Focus, finish, let's go!
You guys stood tall. You reached down in the inner part of your gut and you did what had to be done. And I want to tell you something, guys. When you do that, there ain't nobody can ever take that away from you because you did it. And I'm proud of you. Congratulations.
We got our people. Let's light the fuse and kick some ass.
Tell you what, there's a lot of guys that stepped up today. I mean, a lot of guys that stepped up big time. It's in the books. Kansas City Chiefs, 11-2, AFC, Western. Hold it. Carl's got something.
I'm going to give the first one to the head coach of the team they picked to come in 6th place in a 5-team division.
Everybody, man. Everybody. Yeah! You were short on your route. That is a 16-yard route. Okay. You don't stop at the 5-yard line, or I'll put somebody else in the game to score the touchdown.
If this was a 1-score game, your ass would be out there, but I'm not putting you at risk in this situation. You hear me?
I was still his guy, and I felt that all the way through, so I love him for that.
Let's go, Breezy!
And that carried over to 2004 when we had one of our better seasons.
Keep grinding. Keep grinding. You're fighting your ass off. Keep grinding on them. We'll wear them down. Let's go. Let's wear them out. We are going to have to go 1 more series. We got to go 1 more series. It's going to be a 4-down series. And we got to get in them and get out. Now let's go.
The great Marty Schottenheimer, who Canton should not be waiting too much longer for him to be there. Oh man, he broke our hearts a lot, but I wouldn't change a thing. Wouldn't change a thing. He brought respectability and a standard back to this town when it came to this football team. And, we fell short a couple of times with different people like, Todd Haley and, Herm a little bit. But Marty really set the bar high. And now we are back there. And we got to where he couldn't go. And I'm not here to pontificate on the things he should have did, whether he should have stuck with Rich Gannon instead of going back to Elvis Gerbach. Marty Schottenheimer was a leader of men. And that whole montage there, you just want to – I could tell why people wanted to probably run through a wall for him because of that motivation that he made you believe that you could do anything and win any game. And he just had that thing about him that he could motivate people, that he could lead men. And as fate would have it, he never got the ring. And I think he's one of the coaches who doesn't have a ring. You have to say that Marty Schottenheimer are one of those coaches that if you're going to say if somebody deserves a ring that doesn't have one, it's him.
And if he wouldn't have quit, he would have surpassed that 200 win.
Well, he got 200 wins. He did that just barely. I mean, he is one of the 8 coaches that have 200 wins. So that's why I say that he should be a lock to be in the Hall of Fame. He didn't go first ballot. I think he's already been. But of course, this is what they do posthumously. They like to do this. Instead of he should have been in. Honestly, Marty Schottenheimer, you win 200 games. That's hard to do. There's only 8 people that have done that. 8. I put a 5. It's 8 people in the history, the 101 year history of the league. Only 8 coaches have surpassed 200 wins. That means it's not easy. And why he's not in the Hall of Fame, and of course he's dead now, and they're going to put him in the Hall of Fame because they feel like dopes when they should have put him in a long time ago. I don't know. He will be missed.
He forever changed Chiefs when he brought in Joe Montana, and that was a huge deal for Kansas City. We came alive when Marty Schottenheimer came, and he brought that quarterback that, it was an amazing time. And I have not ever heard the majority of his players stand right behind him. Right behind him.
Yep.
I watched, I don't know if some of your clips are from that, but there was a great documentary, if you haven't seen it. It's on ESPN, A Football Life and it's about Marty Schottenheimer. So it's a 45-minute documentary. It's worth every minute of it.
Absolutely. His Football Life episode is epic. I got sauce on my sweater. Anyway, Marcel, what is your takeaway? What do you want to add to the former Chiefs head coach Marty Schottenheimer?
We had 2 coaches in the last century that I said epitomized great guys, great people, great ways of leading the team, and that was Marv Levy and Marty. Now, Marv Levy, actually, I believe, without, the general manager and everything that we had and some of the dumb decisions that we made, not drafting Dan Marino because he cursed at a workout. That's, everybody knows that's folklore. That's why we didn't draft him, because he wouldn't fit Kansas City. Huh? Anyway.
Every football coach curses.
Yeah, but guess what? Kansas City did not want that type of they didn't want that type of guy. At least the player personnel director didn't. Not going to say his name because there's no need to crap on somebody. But I would say, especially for our generation, people need to understand that if you care about the Kansas City Chiefs, you probably care because Marty made you care. Marty made you care. You can say that he didn't get you all the way there, but he made you think you might. And sometimes that's what it takes. Sometimes that is what it takes. It takes somebody to almost get you there. You know, the Bobby Bowens of the world, the Dick Vermeils of the world, those people that make you believe. And Marty, I don't believe he stands behind any of them at all in the way that he did that. And I remember, the one clip you don't have is the clip of that traitor, Neil Smith, sitting on his helmet. And it's versus the Oakland Raiders. And I believe we are like at the 48, 49 yard line of ours. And we need maybe a yard and a half. And Neil asked Marty, hey, what we going to do? What we getting ready to do, coach? And he's sitting there and he looks at him. Now, mind you, he's sitting on his helmet. So he must know that we going to do whatever we do and be successful at it. And Marty turns and looks at him and he goes, what? And he's like, what are we going to do, coach? And he's like, he turns back around, to look at the field and say something to the offensive coordinator. And he turns back around. He says, what? He says, what are we going to do, coach? He said, you know what we're going to do. They know what we're going to do, talking about to the crowd. And then he pointed across the doggone field and said, and they know what we're going to do. We're going to call our best play with our best player, and we're going to get a first down. Hand off to Marcus Allen up the right side. First down. Game over.
Yeah, Marty wasn't one for trickery. I mean, he was pretty much like you, especially you get down in the goal line. Remember the Marcus Allen days? Got down to the goal line. I mean, everybody in the stadium, like you said, both teams knew who's going to get the ball. Marcus Allen.
I mean, everybody knew. The people in the crowd. And even when we were on the road, we were like, okay, we're gonna outman you right now because we're men. We're men in Kansas City. That's what we make here. We make people with ashy knuckles. That's what we do, and I believe that it represents this city. Y'all laughing? I'm serious. The ashy knuckles. Man, ashy knuckles, y'all need to know about that. Ashy knuckles, man. Right. We ain't flossing. We ain't all up in Silicon Valley. We're not doing that. We're not pretty. We're not pretty. You know what? The prettiest guy we got here is Pat Mahomes. And I will go back to the beginning of this show. And even he has ashy knuckles because he gives you everything he has because that's what Kansas City does. God bless Marty Schottenheimer, his family, and the fact that he is no longer suffering.
Yeah.
We'll miss that guy.
We will. Marty Schottenheimer, dead at age 77. Therese Paylor, dead at age 37.
Wow.
Hate to go out on such a solemn note, but
hey, it's not solemn. It's fun because Derek Thomas got two homies he could talk to. You know what I'm saying? He got some company up there with Hank Stram and all the others of us. Man, this is not a bad thing. This is not a bad week. This was not a bad time. We lost the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl.
Remember when we used to watch everybody else play in the Super Bowl? We used to watch everybody else play. Those other two, we were one of those 30 teams that, like, wow, sure would be nice if we played in the Super Bowl.
That's when you care about the halftime.
Red, white, and gold, too heavy to hold. That's what we are, baby.
All right. Guys, we got to go. Thank you for watching Real Fan Radio in the live stream. We're still deciding whether or not we're going to keep doing this. Thank you for everybody that's been watching. Bubbles, Renee, Daryl, all you people out there. Thank you so much for putting up with us. Go to our Facebook page, Real Fan Radio. Tell us what you think about the show, and we'll decide whether or not we'll do this again. In the meantime, be well, as I always say. Be kind to one another. Love one another. Until we meet again, God bless everybody.
Peace.